Oh, play downfield!
Oh, go that is. Go on, my son.
Come on, Rangers! Come on,
He missed the whole game.
The season's going to end. The only question is, how do we want it to check out? Do we want it to end while standing on our feet or on our knees begging? We ain't much for begging. Nobody ever gave us nothing. So we say, gosh darn it, let's fight this thing. The parallels to Alien 3 end with that paraphrased speech, assuming there isn't a xenomorphic dog eating the players one by one. What we're trying to say is, we yearn for the season to continue, for the coaches to keep on coaching, for water bottles to still be filled up, for cones to remain scattered upon pitches. That sadly seems unlikely. So as Welling United visit Meadowbank, there's an underlying tension, an awareness that this might be it, the final home game of the season, and Dorking aren't planning on ending it on their knees. Here at Bunch of Amateurs, we're pretending everything is fine and dandy again. So let's go meet the man they call John the Bible for an episode we would call a tactics episode if that didn't sound like a Peter Crouch podcast.
Right, let's have a look. Strachan centre back, right back's Campbell, left back's Campbell. So yeah, they haven't changed. Be exactly the same. So my name's John. I'm the kind of opposition scout, do a bit of analyst work as well. So my main role is really to look at the opposition, look at their strengths and weaknesses, formations. So just we get an idea of, by Saturday, what we need to do at training, what system kind of formation we should be playing, how should we exploit their weaknesses, and the other way around, looking at their strengths as well. I had my own blog where I was just looking at games nearby like Dorking and Merstham and Kingstonian, and I did lots of analysis on their games, and that's really where Marc saw the work I was doing and just contacted me. And yeah, just said, do you want to join the scouting team? When Marc and I are looking at the opposition, we're looking at interviews, anything the manager gives away in an interview about certain players, about certain formations. Marc does this, I don't do as much, but he looks at fans forums, finds out what the fans are thinking about certain players, and you get a lot from that. There was one game at the start of the season where we got knocked out of the FA Cup against Eastbourne, and one of their players scored a hat-trick. And my scout, and I didn't mention him once, and he ended up kind of getting a hat-trick and knocking us out. And Marc's never said that to me, but I know that if I'd have mentioned him before the game and his aerial ability, we would have won that game. So there's times when that's happened, but there's times when that's been the other way, where we've managed to get something out of it. So yeah, it's a bit of both.
While John the Bible is usually the puppet master, pulling tactical strings behind the scenes, his work nearly always informs the first of the day's team talks.
Look, we can go top today. That always matters. Doesn't matter about anything else. What matters is if you can go top of a table, happy days. They were really organised against Dartford, really organised. That was the most impressive thing. The manager knows what he's doing. And actually, John the Bible, to be fair to him, when he first voiced noted me 9 minutes about this Thursday morning, said, I'll be honest, he's got a good formation and he's got the right players in the formation. So these two boys, as you need in a diamond, they run into areas, they'll press and they'll get into channels. Couple of things to get right. They're organised. These two boys are like under 23 players from like Millwall, Palace. They'll have pace, they'll be dynamic. They might be even strong, but they won't be switched on, they won't be smart, they won't be diligent, okay? The way we play 3-5-2, because obviously in this formation they look to get full backs on, so that won't really happen because they're blocked. Out of possession, back three, make sure we are condensed because you're only marking two people. Yeah. In possession, guess what? You're the overload. What a big problem for that is. That's a big problem for them. They're starting the game with a 4v3. Take that out of it. They have a 4v3 overload. It's not often we give a team an overload. And normally when we play a diamond, we play one striker. For me, wingers go away like this. I mean, it'd have to be some fucking manager to deal with this, trust me. And let's just get it as wide as we fucking can. That's the key to the game. Get the ball, get it out wide. The whole game is out wide. That's where it is. Okay, lads, yeah? Really important, yeah? We're fucking switch the fuck on. Be ready. Could it be great, wouldn't it? You can only ever get out what you put in. And if we are top tonight, everything's in our destiny. Let's just keep working hard, okay? All right, boys?
Tactics aside, Marc has other managerial issues to deal with. Having hired Lewis Carey to cover for the injured goalkeeper Slav Huck, he's put the new man straight into the team at the expense of Sam Howes.
It's a difficult one, really, because realistically, most teams have got 2 or 3 players for every position anyway. But keepers often see themselves as being, you know, first choice or want to be first choice. But in reality, how many other players are absolutely first choice? There's not in every sort of, well, it's certainly in our starting 11s, there's only ever really 2 or 3, 4 that might be first choice. The rest are as good as the other 16. So, you know, I like keepers to keep a good mindset. You know, if you want to be first choice, then you have to be like Jason Pryor would be a first choice striker for any club in the division and probably the one above. But that's the level you've got to be at to be first choice. So my point is, it's not an insult to, you know, whereby we need to bring in other players for other positions. Competition's important, and we felt like Sam needed competition. He's young. He's a young keeper. And he's done the rounds. He's done a sort of pro apprenticeship and at Watford, etc. So he just needs more experience, and he needs to work hard.
Big theme of today seems to be get it out wide. Is that the nature of the 2 formations that you play?
Yeah, I mean, exactly that. You know, playing a diamond, you know, it gives us a great opportunity to get the ball out wide and get some overloads, which we wouldn't normally get against teams. So we're expecting a tough game, and it may well be the diamond undoes us. So you might talk to me at the end, Rich, and I'll be sitting here saying the diamond done us. So we'll see. I mean, it's a game we need to get the ball out wide and put balls in the box for Jason. That's the idea. Remember, when Kane gets the ball, you go get it off him. Double pivot. Let's improve that double pivot in midfield. Okay, but in order to make that effective, Samuel Ab, we've got to make sure Kane is receiving the ball higher up. Yeah? So these boys ain't doing fucking 100-metre distances. Okay, boys, come on!
A win might put Dorking top of the National League South, but defeat will also mean visitors Welling United would find themselves rooted to the bottom, something they're desperate to avoid, whether the season is curtailed or not.
Overhit! Drive! Go on, drive! 2 on 1, drive!
By putting his foot on the ball in the opening minute, new goalkeeper Lewis Carey is about to find out what it means to not pay attention to Marc's pre-match instructions.
Fucking hell! Speed up! Sammy, first thing we do is slow it down. Lou, do it really early.
After a listless opening, Dorking finally get the ball out wide to winger Nick Wheeler, who delivers the first of many dangerous crosses.
Take him on! Run him! 1-on-1! Run them both!
On the other flank, Matt Briggs cuts inside, only to find the midfield diamond too congested to break through. Somewhat ironically, Dorking's flowing football is interrupted by their own tendency to give away needless free kicks. Keen to get out of their half, Wanderers flood forwards, while their manager urges them to take control of the ball.
Relax! Backer, get the ball! This side! Come on, sideways!
The latest move ends with another wicked Wheeler cross that somehow goes begging. As predicted by John the Bible and Marc, Wheeler and Briggs are providing Dorking's biggest threat out wide. With 18 minutes on the clock, Briggs realises his potential, driving into the box and cutting back for Alfie Rutherford.
Who was it? Alfie. Hey? need the ball moving across the park. Boys, look, hey, it's too narrow. Fast. Make sure the boys are transferring the ball.
Dorking may have the lead, but it's not the kind of free-flowing performance expected of them.
Fucking hell. Fucking hell, Nicky. Fuck off. Kano. Nicky, boys. Fucking shit. Nicky, come on. Fucking free kick practice. We did about 6 free kicks here, haven't we? Good. Take him on.
Like Jesus after 72 hours in a cave, Matt Briggs is beginning to realise this is going to be his day.
Got to score them though, mate. If that's on target, that's a goal.
Nonetheless, Welling are struggling to contain Briggs, with Darren Oldacre resorting to a sly tug to keep him from getting away. As usual, Mark seems to have forgotten that he employs a set-piece planner.
Nicky in the wall! Nicky! Who's taking it? Do you know what we're doing? This is hard. Who is? Pryor! Was it a set piece? You can't claim it when he just crosses it. Surely crossing's in the fucking script, isn't it?
Planned or otherwise, Nick Wheeler sweeps home after Jason Pry's volley is well parried by goalkeeper Reece Charles Cook.
Shorter passes, Kano! Perfect! Shorter passes! Next goal! Cross it! Briggsy, right.
In an effort to stop Dorking's build-up play from the back, Welling's midfield and strikers block off Carey's options.
Get Foggy out of there, for fuck's sake. Right, he's got to stop. Listen, tell him to stop giving it to Fogden. At best, it's a bounce, isn't it? He's man for man. All he can do is bounce. Tell him he's got to go left, right, early. Or if he gets it to Sammy, and Sammy does it for him.
Welling have pushed their way up the park, yet Dorking's defence is well capable of intervening before Carey's goal is threatened. And with a minute of injury time already played, they should be taking a lead into half-time.
Look, ref, you played a minute, mate. Ref, you played a minute, mate. Jason, tell the ref we played the minute. What's he doing? Ref, we played the minute, ref.
As if he were in charge of a game of FIFA 21, the ref seems keen to allow the attack to continue, much to Mark's annoyance.
Referee, mate, you've had a brilliant half. You don't let that play continue. Not by the law. You don't let that play continue. You've played a minute and 20 seconds. There. Yeah, but your play was no. He'll tell you. No. You don't let that play happen. Right, boys, tune in. This game is still alive. There is a lot of football left in this game. I'm going to be straight with you about what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a side that won't think they can get anything out of it until you give them something shit. And when you give them something shit, their tails will go through the roof. Nicky, you're coming off. Okay, you're coming off. Niall's going on. That's a simple, straight change. Lou, don't bounce any midfield. There's no point because they've got an overload. So all you do, by playing one ball there, all you do is entice a bounce. And that bounce is a press. And we're playing under a little bit more pressure than we need to. Lewis, what you've got to do is get it there. And if that's blocked off initially, get it to Sammy. Sammy, what you've got to do, get it there. There's enough play here just by doing what I said. Don't underestimate what I told you. It's got to go on the outside of them. At 2-0, do you want to give this lot a nick? Don't give them a nick. Don't pass to anyone back to goal. Lou, Sammy the same. Don't need to. Overload. You know it in advance. Yeah? It's like sending your bird to a fucking ex-boyfriend's house for the night. Seriously. You know what's going to happen. Briggsy, Niall, you just run them. Every time, just run them on the outside. They're a goal boy from collapsing. Right? But teams that are, new teams, disjointed, they get something. They fucking, here we go. So it's not clever to get caught into going long in this game. Because normally, if we do it, I don't like it, but normally at least we've got a man-for-man press. We ain't got that. So it's a lot of work, right? Don't give this lot the ball, okay? Come on, boys. I mean, what I said there is absolutely the key bit. The more direct you go, the more them two up front are having to do a lot of work to try and deal with their overload. That's why Jace is playing at his absolute fucking arse. So that our only biggest challenge here is trying to get Jace out of this game for a Monday night game. You know what I mean? It's going to be difficult, but equally it's all about today. So we have to leave him on and play somebody else Monday. That's what we've got to do, unless we get a third goal. 3 goals, we're okay. Anything else? Anyone got anything substantial? Yeah.
Not really, no silly free kicks. That's the only thing they're going to score from.
Yeah, so I should have said that. But to be fair, we improved it near the back end. All right, we've got to keep our powder dry on the changes.
Dorking start to the second half is the polar opposite of the first. An 18-pass move that touches the feet of every single player except James McShane.
Good, love that! Easy, good, love it! Oh, good. Sammy, get it back! Sammy! Good! That's our overload there, that's it.
Using the so-called overload, Dorking finds space and drag their opponents about, before Jason Pryor feeds Alfie Rutherford down the right flank. With a wiggle of the shoulders, Rutherford bamboozles Lewis Hobbs before setting up Jason Pryor for possibly the goal of the season.
What a fucking goal that is! Go on, my son! What a fucking goal that is! That takes a wind out of you, doesn't it, defence? What a fucking goal! Let's go! Deliver! Deliver! Love that!
With confidence flowing through their veins like Lance Armstrong's human growth hormones, Dorking torment Welling, and it's not long before another slick passing move opens up the defence.
Great goal! Let's go.
Perhaps heartbroken that he wasn't involved in the goal of the season, McShane rams the fourth home like an Amazon delivery driver.
Bish bash bosh, eh? Bish bash bosh, the Globetrotters. Ref, get your watch right this half. Time! Time! Don't deliver! Run it! Run the ball! Run the ball! Run the ball!
Like a shark that's just been served a rare steak with a side of black pudding, Dorking smell blood. Not since Dennis Watts was buried under the Queen Vic has anyone deserved something more than Matt Briggs and his goal.
Oh well, at least this is the last fucking game. We finished top, we scored 5. All you can do is what you can do. So it's a great game, the ref, isn't it? What happens? You get a few good rests and then they just get promoted straight away. That's the bottom line. They're short as fuck.
Despite playing a big part in Dorking's 5-goal lead, Alfie Rutherford is beginning to get very upset.
Alfie, stop moaning! Oh, Alfie. Do you know what? He's been moaning for 15 minutes, mate. He's wound himself up. They score it, it's Alfie's fault. He's getting told that at the end. Lucky I know about fucking football. All of this comes from Alfie giving away shit fouls. Score that, man. On his right foot. Oh, right. Corner! To corner! Cheers, mate. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Cheers, mate. Best ref by a long way. Missed one penalty, though. Was a penalty, but he moans a lot, so I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Briggs, a superb game, son. That's a very good game. What do you reckon, John? Bit better, wasn't it? Box office second half. Really, mate, that was fucking great second half. I love watching us when we flick the switch. I'll cover the negatives first. First half, Lewis, clean sheet. I thought you didn't get the instructions right, so just switch the fuck on all the time. Nicky, I thought you was poor again, son. Sorry, that's how it is, mate. Don't point blowing smoke. That's why you came off. And you start getting frustrated out. Get it out of your game, son. Get it out of your game. You haven't done it for a long time. Fucking listen. It's, you know, your old man will tell you, isn't it? It's fucking gone, it's gone. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't keep moaning and whinging. Fuck it, get it out. You've had a great game. Hold up play was great. Really good game. You're scoring one a game now. Brilliant stuff. Don't undo it with me, because I spot everything. 2 or 3, that's the only negatives I've got. But some of those goals we scored, I'm telling you now, when we watch them back, are fucking good. Prize won fucking umpteen passes, mate, the fucking flick. You know, the Briggs one, we scored some fucking great goals. Do you know what, in football, boys, that is what it's all about. We'll be really positive they don't call time on the fucking league. What, I mean, imagine if we get official news the league's cracking on. That'd be the most phenomenal news we can get, boys. You know, because there's not too many teams can win this league this year now. There's really not. So let's be positive. Get on your fucking league continuing prayer, Matt. Put the gear in the right way, please. Right, management quick. Let's talk about me for a bit. Big improvement. What do you think the improvement was second half, John? Just more passes?
More passes, yeah. Keep getting out wide more quickly. Yeah, I thought it was really good, really good. Yeah. I mean, it's the same side that we're 2-0 up at Dartford and drew last week. I just think we exploited their weaknesses brilliantly. It is
what it is, isn't it? I mean, we'll be fucking devastated they fucking shut the league down. We fuck about. I mean, we'll be gutted, wouldn't they? I mean, I've got to be honest, you wouldn't fucking put your mortgage on it. I've got to be fair. You know what I mean? So the only thing we can take from it is we've had a bit of practice and we know what we need to do. Do you know what I mean? That's all we can do. All we can fucking do. Yeah? 5-0. Cheers, boys. Well done, boys. John, let us know. Just voice notes on Chelmsford, mate. Well done, John. But by the way, well done, because your stuff on that diamond was fucking perfect, mate. Perfect. Coach of the week. Just looking for things that are good and bad, really, irrespective of the result. They've got a very experienced manager. He set his team up really well. John the Bible, he starts off with a 9-minute voice note. Every nook and cranny, having watched the videos, we'll then watch the videos as well. So we'll get a first opinion, second opinion. We'll then train and work around things. The team sheet will be given to John, and then John will work out, right, this is how they're playing. And then we'll just try to exploit their weaknesses, etc. Like, this is probably how most teams operate, but we are well geared up. I thought first half an hour heavy weather of trying to find our pattern. We weren't exploiting the areas we needed to quick enough. But then second half, we had a chat half time and we done a lot better at it, and we was really good second half. So enjoyable.
We'd heard a rumour that Matt Briggs was a rocket scientist, so under the pretence of a conversation about football, we spoke to the man of the match, fully intending to talk about rocket science.
Who are you? What do you do?
I'm Marc Briggs and I'm a winger for Dorking Wanderers.
And how long have you been at Dorking?
How long have I been at Dorking? This is my 6th season. We were in Ryman South, so I joined when I first came to university, and yeah, we were in Ryman South at that point. Like, the further we go up, it kind of pushes like what the boundaries of what I'm doing and kind of where I push myself to keep up with the rest of the team that are coming in. You've got to push yourself. Yeah, so I kind of, when I went to uni, I was like just looking for clubs in the area around my uni because I didn't want to travel too far, and spoke to Mark, and yeah, he sold me Dorking Wanderers. I did have offers a couple of seasons ago to play league football, and they're now in League One. But whether I look at that as a missed opportunity or not, I made the decision not to, basically for my personal career and what I want to do. I chose not to go into full-time football for many reasons, and I really enjoy my football here. So.
What do you do outside of football?
I'm a control systems engineer for a company called Arrival, doing electric vehicles on their Rubber Race project so it's electric autonomous race cars. Yeah.
Did you say electric autonomous race cars?
Yes, yeah.
Are you a rocket scientist?
No, I did aerospace engineering at uni, but I'm not a rocket scientist, no. Yeah, and I guess that's kind of one of the reasons why I didn't end up going into full-time football when I had the opportunities, because I really enjoy my career and what I do, so. To have that and then to have semi-professional football here part-time, and I can do them both, is what I really enjoy.
Well, I mean, you know, he chose he may have told you he was with a pro club and as a youngster, and he had a really bad injury that then made his mind up for him to go to Guildford Uni, and therefore, as a result, he emailed every club in the area and said, can I join you to earn a fiver whilst I'm at uni? He had to have a different career choice, and the rest is history. Loads of clubs paid an interest in Matt, but Matt really wanted to stay true to his engineering degree, and he's got himself a good job. And you know, for him, he this works really well. He's part-time, the club he loves, his family love the club. Briggsy on his day, he's like anyone a lot of people in life are brilliant. They sometimes can flick it on, switch it and switch it off, and on his day, Briggsy's unplayable. That the same was designed really for someone like him on his day.
You mentioned earlier the vote not going your way, but there's still a chance. Are you waking up like in the morning thinking shit, or are you just, how are you feeling?
It's no question that's how you feel. You'd be lying, do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, you get your blooming your shoes on in the morning, put your aftershave on, and you go out there and put your fists up and you fight everyone in sight about it, but realistically behind closed doors you're thinking, bloody hell, what a nightmare this will be, and it's frustrating, to be quite honest, because we're having a good season, we're in the top 3. For me, I said all along, a home playoff game would be our target. I do think that fans will be back by then. We could get a packed out Meadowbank. And I just feel like, in honesty, Rich, I just feel like there's so much negativity out there. I don't blame people, supporters, even members of clubs, boards. They're sat at home. They can borderline not go out. It's been like that for a long time. And I think everybody's looking at things through just, grey glasses. And, I'm looking at it the other way around, really. I'm looking at the fact that surely the worst of the pandemic's behind us. All the information coming out now is that, there's a roadmap for recovery, Feb 22nd. And, I'm looking at it as to say fans, arguably, that the grounds are ready for fans because we've done the protocols already. So the fans could easily be back by the end of March with 2 whole months to play. And it just feels like, the leadership required for this from those in football is like nothing else. Like a really good poker player, they've got to sit tight and know when to fold, and at the moment they've just they've not done that, and so I don't think we've got much faith in the decision making until August. From Feb, when we had 6 weeks off for the playoffs last year, that was tough enough. That is just a unthinkable thought. So we need to put some hope in the powers that be.
Hit subscribe to receive Bunch of Amateurs videos at least once a week, possibly twice a week if we can keep this up and people keep playing football.